My name is Kaylee, and today we are going to start a new series called Simply Savings. And Simply Savings is going to be about how I've saved money on various things in my life. There's going to be a lot of different topics covered, whether it be utilities, grocery shopping, shopping for cleaning products, or just home buying products in general. It's kind of going to be about a series about how I personally have saved money and how you might want to start doing the same. Reasons that I have started doing this, other than money, which of course is always going to be a factor. Today's episode is going to be about saving money on your electric bill. When I first started paying for my electric bill, I was really shocked at how high it was. I never really thought about ways that I could save on my electric bill. My parents had always, told me to turn off the lights when I leave the room, and even if I did that, I wasn't really thinking about it. So when I started paying my bills, I realized, I bet we could get this lower, and so I really started looking up different ways and trying out different methods or using multiple methods to try to decrease my usage of my electric bill. Another great thing about using less is it's better for the environment. And that's what this channel is really about, is about simplifying your life, which in most cases means that it's better for you personally, it is better for your finances, and in turn it's going to also be better for the environment. So one last thing before I get into this video, I'm going to be looking down sometimes because I have my computer down here and it's kind of keeping me on track, making sure I cover all the topics that I want to cover in this video. So if you see me looking down, that's why. I've got my computer down here. So let's get started. One of the biggest ways that I have saved money is turning off my lights. Now, that means when I leave a room, I turn it off. When I go into a room, I think about, do I really need the light to begin with? Can I see what I need to do? So turning off the lights is a big thing. Now, since I moved out of my parents' house, I've lived with a roommate. This is actually the first month that I have lived without a roommate, and I'm getting ready this weekend to have another roommate. So my bill has gone down this month significantly because it's about cut in half because I don't have a roommate. But even so, my bill went down a lot just by turning off the lights. Freshman year and last year, I had a roommate who left the lights on a lot, and so when I would come home, especially at night, every room in the house would be on, which would obviously really raise my electric bill over time because this was a consistent thing. Or just making sure to turn off the lights before you're leaving, especially for a weekend. If you're leaving lights on all weekend that aren't necessary, there's no one in the house, there's no reason to leave those lights on. So just turning off lights when you don't need them is a really big way that you can save money. I think you'd be surprised when you think about it, how often you had been leaving lights on and how much money you can save. Another way to save that kind of goes along with turning off lights is to use natural lighting. Especially in my living room, I have a lot of windows, and so I am able to have this natural lighting in the daytime when I'm here. My room has windows. Most of the house, except I think the bathrooms, are the only rooms without windows, and my laundry room is also a room without a window. So other than that, all the rooms have windows. So in the daytime, if it's not like really raining or storming outside, and sometimes even then, I don't need lights on. And that's kind of what I have to think about when I come home. I walk in and I'm like, well, I don't need lights, it's really nice. And this video actually I'm shooting in natural lighting because I wanted to show you kind of what natural lighting does. Right now I have these two windows behind me closed because of the lighting. It made a weird glare, and I also don't want you to see where I live. So the lighting is it's pretty good, especially right now. It's not sunny today, it's kind of cloudy, so it's not as light as it normally is in the sun, and obviously when I'm gone, my windows are closed, my blinds are closed, so there's not really as much lighting. I do keep some of the windows, blinds open for lighting, but the big ones in the living room I always have closed when I'm gone, just because I don't want people looking in. So natural lighting, at night it's obviously not as practical to have the windows open because it's dark, so it's not going to make a difference. So I just watch what lights I have on in the house, which is a big deal. In the living room I have 2 lamps over here on either side of me, and so I just have those on really at night. I only have one of them on, and if I need the extra light I'll turn the other one on. But if I leave the room, I turn the lights off. If no one's like coming to my house, so I don't need to have the light on in the living room, I don't have the light on. It's really, so if I turn it off in here, if I go to my room, I have the light on in there, and if I go back to the living room, I turn the light off in my bedroom, and I come back in here and turn this light on. I know the layout of the house, and I don't have stuff laying around on my floors unless they're dog toys. So I know the layout of the house, so I don't need really bright lights to get me around the house. Another way that actually is an expense at first but is more than made up for it is these LED lights. There's different brands, and it comes in about every single replacement wattage. This one's a 40-watt replacement, and it's actually only 7 watts. I think they differ based on the replacement of what you're replacing. They come in different sizes. I know they have daylight ones too. I personally don't like those. I'm using the soft white, which is probably what you have in your house. They also have the decorative ones for, you know, above your bathroom. So these are more expensive. I think this one was $9 or $10, and so it does cost more initially, but it does save you money. They're also supposed to last a lot longer than regular bulbs, so I've only had mine for a few months, so I can't really back that up. But as for saving money, it definitely has. It wasn't a huge savings, but along with the other stuff that I had been doing, it was a definite decrease in my electric bill. So what I'm doing is I didn't go out and buy a bunch of light bulbs and change them out all at once. What actually started this was the light bulb for the lamp that I use a lot. Went out, and I had been hearing about these, and I had been wanting to save money, so I went ahead and replaced both light bulb lamps. And so as the lights go out in my house, I kind of group them together. So when one lamp went out, I changed both of them in the living room. I had a bulb go out in the bathroom, and it's a set of 4, you know, above my mirror. So I went ahead and changed all 4 of them. So as like one is going out, I'm changing them in sets, which kind of keeps track of like when I need to replace them, hopefully. I'm honestly hoping I don't live here when they go out again. But, you know, if I do, it's not a big deal. But, so I'm not really changing all of them at once, which if you have the money, it's great. I suggest you do it. But, I'm also becoming more aware of which lights I use more often. So instead of the overhead light, which I've heard, and I don't know if it's true, the overhead lights, like on your ceiling, use a lot more light than a lamp would. So I use lamps most of the time anyway. But instead of using, if I need light, I turn on one or both of the lamps instead of using the overhead lights, just because I know that I haven't changed those light bulbs. So I'm more aware of which light bulbs I'm changing, so I can keep track and probably use the ones that I have changed more often. The next thing is using the air conditioner or the heater. Now, it's currently springtime where I am, and so it's actually abnormally cool for spring, so I don't know really what's going on, but I have not had my heater air on for about 3 weeks, 3, almost 4 weeks now, just because it's been really nice outside. Cooler than normal, so sometimes I have to have a jacket on at night. I definitely have extra blankets on my bed, but in general, I don't have to have the heater air on, and that's a big expense. I honestly, when I turned it off, I didn't realize how much it would be saving, but I remember last summer when I moved in here, I didn't have the air on for a couple weeks, and my electric bill went down so much just by having that. So if you need to, you can open your windows. I don't think people realize that windows, fans, jackets or blankets, depending on what the temperature is, you know, whether it's hotter or cooler outside, just doing those kind of things, or wearing longer pants, long sleeves if it's cooler, or jackets, and then if it's hotter, wearing tank tops in your house. I mean, you're in your house, so even if you're not comfortable in public, wearing tank tops around the house or shorts, it's not really that big a deal. It is maybe if you have guests coming over, but even if you don't feel comfortable, if it's just your house and no one else is there, there's really no reason why you can't wear less clothing. Now, I don't suggest running around naked, just in case someone does come to the door, but you know, you never know. So wearing less clothing, it really can allow you to use less energy. And so natural lighting, turning off your lights, using LED lights, and just getting comfortable with the temperature. Your body will adjust to the temperature. I don't think people realize that. I remember freshman year, I had roommates who would come in and it had been snowing outside. Specifically in this incident, it had been snowing outside. They came in, they took off their jackets, they were cold, so they turned the heater up really, really, really high. And there's no reason for that, because then they got hot and had to turn it back down, so it had to work to get back down. So really, if they would have just come in and either kept their jackets on or taken them off and just given it like 5 minutes, their bodies would have adjusted to the temperature. They would have been fine. So really, just let your body adjust, give it a few minutes. If you're still uncomfortable, think about ways you can change it, and then if all else fails, then you can turn on the heater, the air. Another way is unplugging things. For instance, one of the biggest things is I leave for weekends sometimes to go back home or with my grandparents. So I unplug everything. There's no reason to leave it plugged in. Even my clocks, you know, I don't mind resetting my clocks, and it saves money. It's not a whole lot, but again, all of these things together makes a difference. Specifically, when I'm here, I don't leave my computer charger, my phone chargers. I have a TV in the living room, and I don't really use it that often unless I have people over to watch movies. So I'll go ahead and unplug that unless I need it. Just unplugging things if I don't need it is something that I really like to do. I'm hoping my new roommate does it. My old roommate would forget, but she got better at it towards the end, and I think not specifically just unplugging her phone charger, I could see a difference, but I think because we were doing all this again, it made a difference. And the last thing that I suggest is I have a pretty decent sized yard, especially for me. I mean, I have to mow it, so it's a good sized yard for me. And instead of using lights that use batteries or using my porch light, which I still use sometimes, but I'm hoping to change that soon, is I bought some solar lights at Walmart, and basically they turn on automatically when it gets dark. And I absolutely love them because they charge during the day, and then they automatically turn on and off. If it's really dark outside, it'll also turn on, obviously, and if it's really cloudy and raining, I really haven't had a problem with it not charging, but I'm sure if it gets dark enough, they're not going to charge. But like a day like today when it's cloudy, it's still going to charge, it's still going to be light at night, and it just gives me that little bit of light so I can make it to where I want to. You know, it's not like I could like read a book out there, so that I'd have to do on my porch light, but in general, it's enough light that I can kind of see what's going on. When my dog's outside, I can see where she is, and so that is a big deal for me, and I'm hoping that maybe I can find different ways. I know that they have phone chargers that you can put on your window that are solar, and they charge your phone, and I think that's a great idea. I don't know if it works, and I haven't had time to get one. So I'm hoping like little things like that can just... Hi guys, sorry my battery died and I had to charge it before I could film the rest of this. So what I was talking about before my battery died was how much my electric bill has changed. So before I used these methods, my electric bill was actually really high. I first moved in the summertime, and so my air conditioner was on a lot, which obviously this summer it will probably be on less than it was, but still on more than it is, obviously not during the summer. So my bill was around $160, $170, and that was with my roommate here. She used some of these methods. I kind of reminded her to turn off the lights and stuff, but she wasn't as concerned about that because she was going to pay half of it anyway. She just didn't really care. So before all of those methods, that's what it was. Once I started using these methods, it went down to, with the air conditioner on, at the highest point I think it was $100, but generally it was just under $100, and then obviously in the winter it went way down. Now that it's kind of warmer again, and even when she was still here, our bill was around $70 to $80 I think, and then the month that she had moved out and there was no one else living here with me, it was around $30 or $40, and I was out for the summer, and I had also taken some time off of work, so I wasn't traveling, I didn't go to work all day, so I was here most of the time because everyone had gone home for the summer, so that's actually really good considering. Then my new roommate has moved in, and she is more willing to watch her usage on electric and water and gas and everything. So I'm really interested to see how much it goes up. I'm hoping that it will stay lower, but I know that it's going to go up from last month, but that's okay. I am splitting it with her, so I feel like we'll be more evened out now, because if she's watching it and I'm watching it, then it should stay pretty low. I want you guys to use these methods and comment below if you already do use them, if you're going to use them, and how much it's helped you. I'm interested to see if it makes a difference with different dynamics. If you have kids or more roommates, or it's just you all the time, I'm wanting to see if you're using these methods, which methods are you using? Are you using all of them? So comment below and let me know. Also subscribe so you can keep up with this series. Next week's episode for this series, Simply Savings, is going to be about our water bill, and I'm actually going to film this right after this, so I'm probably going to be in the exact same clothes, so we'll see. But yes, so let me know, subscribe if you want to see more, and make sure and like the video so I know that this is a series that everyone else likes. I'm Kaylee. Bye!